Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, everybody. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Saturday Night Live. For some reason, it won't let me make myself full screen. Like I have to have my background. I don't know. It's been very weird. It's being very weird, but that's okay. You guys can at least see me. So welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. It is Saturday, May the 3rd, and we're not much closer to summer. That's all I got to say. It's been a rainy, dreary day here today. So I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for the sun. We haven't really gotten too much, it seems like, here yet, compared to, other years. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. You can call me either or. Thanks for being here. And if you're returning, thanks for coming back and joining me for another live. If you were over and watched our unfiltered live today, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Tomorrow we're going to do another one, and I think Southernish is going to come on with me because she's off work. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good live. I think we're going to do it around 1:15 to 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So I'll put a community post out. And that's my other channel. If you're wondering what's unfiltered, it's just another channel that I have. So, hey, Ladybug. Hey, baby girl. Welcome in. Hey, Mary Beth. Hey, Ministry of Defense. It's good to see you guys tonight. Oh, is there a shocking news from the royal family? I don't know. Let me know. Oh, I want to know. I like to know the gossipy news. Hey, Cougar. Welcome in. She said, Lordy, I haven't seen anything. I'll look. Hey, Triple L. We'll find out what's going on. We want to know. There's always something going on, isn't there? I hope that, well, I know that the king, he's got the cancer. So hopefully that's nothing serious. like that, you know. Hey, princess, welcome in. Hey, they exist. We are realizing that. Yes. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. And they said, we are realizing more and more how dedicated BK is to his art. Yeah. And quotes. Hey, Timeless Mysteries. I like that name. It's a good name. Hey, Willows. Hey, Shells again. Welcome in. Oh, that's okay. So, that's what it is, maybe. Oh, I'm. I was so when I was younger, I used to think that William was the cutest thing under the sun. I did. I thought he was just the most adorable. But and I still do. I still think he is. And then Harry was always the more of the rougher one. He was always the kind of the more, the black sheep of the family kind of. But didn't they say they didn't want to be the royals anymore? So I mean, I guess if they want to be regular old people. Hey, Willows, then you're regular old people. Hey, Wizard Walt. Has Tanya ever been on time? Nope. Nope. The cat was my excuse. That's really what it was. He wanted to get out of here. I was like, oh man, are you kidding? He was in his bed. Actually, he might have been laying in there since we had our live. No, he got up since we had our live earlier because I had to let him out earlier today too. On our live, remember? Yeah, because he came up to me. No, I don't even know who's fighting. Vincent doesn't watch the fights that much, which is actually that's kind of weird not hearing fights in this house because my dad used to always watch the fights, not like fighting, but he used to always watch. UFC was his thing. Like, man, that was his thing. Come sit with me, Tanya. Come sit with me. That's what he'd say. Hey, Mr. Rosebud. Hey, Crafty One. Hey, Citizen Sleuth. Someone's going to say in the comment section tomorrow, you just took forever. Hey, Warflayer, by the way. I should just tell you guys to come at 9:30. But people on a replay, it's kind of funny because if you're on a replay, you can fast forward, Hey, Michael. Hey, Wizard Walt. I know in that intro song, it gets you guys pumped up. It gets me pumped up. Hey, Janet. Welcome in. I think I'm getting to the bottom. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Mandy. Oh, it's been hot for you? Not here. Hey, Diane. I actually went to walk outside because I hadn't been out all day. And I was like, I need to get out just for like a little bit, So I was going to take a walk with Vincent and the dogs. And it was raining. And I already had my hair like curled. I was like, well, we're not going to do that then. So I just stood under the awning out there. Hey, Jet Set Jay. And sorry if I missed anybody. Hey, Cash. How you doing? Hi, Diane Marie. Did I miss you? I think I did. I did. My finger went really fast. Hey, Private Sender. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. We're going to talk about BK today. EMAC, welcome in. Okay, I think I'm at the bottom. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Put your name at the bottom and I'll see it. Listen while you sleep. Okay. I'll try not to make the outro music so loud. Margot's in the bushes. Always in the bushes. Margot comes out of nowhere. She'll be in the bushes. She'll come out of nowhere and slap some memberships in. And I'm like, where did Margot come from? That's just Margot. Do you watch on your TV? I wonder. Hey, Chantel. Because I always, if I try to watch anything like this on my TV, I don't know. I'm not good at it. Because I like to skip around sometimes. So just calm. Oh, that's nice. My calm, soothing voice. It might actually be calm and soothing tonight. So I'm going to read a little and then we're going to watch a video. So the video that I have for us to watch, I thought I was losing it because it has the same people in it. It's one of those the CW network videos that we've been watching from, I think we watched one or two of them. And it has like Ashley Banfield and Brian Enton in it. And then it has like this one girl with glasses, this lady with glasses, and then another lady. And I'm like, are we, and a guy, like this other guy, I don't know, but it's the same people. And I'm like, is this the same video? And so I went back and I looked, I was like, no, it's different. So I had to watch them side by side today to see if they were different. They were different. So we'll catch that. It just came out yesterday. And then I have some questions for you guys. Like, I've been in a rabbit hole today. Like, I shouldn't have looked at the PCA. I shouldn't have started reading beforehand because then I like kind of put myself in a rabbit hole. So I have a few questions for you guys. Let me see when would be a good time to ask. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you guys one of the questions first, and then just to give you guys something to think about, like as I'm reading over, because we're going to go over the evidence tonight. But there was just a couple things and I was like, I don't know, just, I have questions and I thought maybe you guys could help me answer them. So I have two PCAs out. Of course I do. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, hit the like button for me. I try not to bother you guys too much with it, but you know, I love it when you guys hit that like button. I appreciate it. So the first question that I had was, I've heard like through YouTube and through like other creators, and I've seen in chats, people were saying that, actually, let me get to my notes. People were saying that Kaylee Gonzalez's room, her bedroom door was open the day, I guess, after the murders, or the day of the murders, because it would have been the afternoon of. Does anybody know where either that was stated for sure, like in like a document or an article, like a news article? Did Howard Bloom say that? I mean, we know what Howard Bloom said, but you know, because I'm going to read this over and I could swear this door, I mean, I'm going to tell you this door was closed with like 99% certainty because the dog was in the room. If the dog wasn't in the room and it was wandering around or something, then I could see that, you know, but there's no way. And I don't think she had a kennel in there. There's no way that Murphy was just chilling in that bedroom with the door wide open, you know, while there was all that noise going on in the other room. So I'm going to read the PCA and I'm going to tell you what it says. And then you let me know what you get out of it. Cause it doesn't say like 100% the doors open or closed, but it does kind of say it. We could debate copious complex Amanda roll. Oh, we could. You know, they exist. We need to get into his sisters and see what their roles are going to be. Hey, thank you, Monchichi. Welcome on in. Thank you guys for the super sticker and the I think there's super sticker and the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys. Hey, lunch lady, welcome in. I was just reading the chat. So, okay. Xana's door was open, but I think Kaylee's door was closed because it says here, I then followed Officer Smith upstairs to the third floor of the residence. The third floor consists of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The bedroom on the west side of the floor was later determined to be Kaylee Gonzalez, hereafter Gonzalez's room. I later learned from a review of Officer Noon's body camera, so that would have been the first officer on the scene, that there was a dog in the room when Moscow police officers initially responded. So I would say that the door was closed, right? Because there was nothing on the dog. There was no blood on the dog. There was nothing on the dog. The dog was clean. Did we watch it on Crime Nation and I just must not have heard it? Because I think they got it wrong. I'm just going to say that. I think they did. Because if you think about it, if that door was open, he was 11 months old. He was a puppy, right? First, I don't believe that. I don't believe Kaylee would lock her dog in the room and go sleep with Maddie. I don't believe that. I think she had expensive things. I mean, her sister said that. I still think she had some things there. There was some boxes and stuff in one of the pictures that you can see. I'm wondering if I don't think she would leave her dog in there. And with, you know, I mean, dogs chew things. Dogs chew everything. I mean, right? I think, and this is just my opinion. What do I know? When Kaylee is upstairs and DM hears there's someone here. I believe that that's Kaylee maybe talking to Murphy as she's shutting the door. Like you walk out of the door and you turn around and then like there's Murphy maybe right at the door and you're like, there's someone here. And you shut the door. That's maybe what I'm thinking. I don't know. I think something different. Not every day. No, I don't think anything different. I still have the same view, but I think of different things. Also, and I'm gonna have to watch those Crime Nations again. Maybe News Nation. See, I'm gonna have to look through those again. Yeah, Felicia. I would always have my door closed too. Probably. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I would. I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, no, I would. And it would probably be locked too. Just, I mean, for my own privacy, right? So that's something to think about. And then we'll go through some of this and then I'll ask another question. You think she yelled it for Dylan to hear? That's a good way to look at it. Hey, Lenora. AT stated it at the Franks hearing. Okay, we're going to go through. Well, let me see. It's all the way down here. I wonder if they talk about it in this one. It's like down, but let's see. I wonder if it's in this document. Maybe I'll go over this document tomorrow. Because I want to read it, you know? Okay. Hey, PKC. I don't know if I said hey to you. By the way, thanks for the information. Hey, Sailor. I think it would be closed too. We're just glad you're here, Mary Beth. Okay, so I'm going to go back up and we're going to read through some of this evidence that they have. And I'm sure that we will hear and get more information as time goes on. You know, we are already in May, so it's June, July, August. She does that every night with her ears. Her ears must bother her sometimes. We have 3 months. That's not very long, not very long at all. So I think that the summer will go quick because we're all going to be out here having fun because it's going to be summer and spring and summer. And then, you know, we'll be back in the end of or in the beginning of August, mid-August, like the 11th. So we'll come in and we'll hang out. We'll cool off at the hottest time of the month. But the first one is going to be the DNA on the sheath. You know, remember last night on the live when my dog decided to cry because she wanted to sit where the other dog was? Well, it's about to happen again. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay, so DNA on the sheath. She's going to do it. According to Officer Brett Payne's affidavit, upon entering Madison Mogan's bedroom on the 3rd floor of the King Road residence, he noticed a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. The sheath had K-Bar and USMC and the United States Marine Corps Eagle Globe and Anchor insignia stamped on the outside of it. The defendant later challenged this affidavit in their Franks hearing motion, stating that Idaho State Police were the ones who actually located and collected the sheath, not Officer Payne, per the statement from Sergeant Blaker. I was later advised by ISP investigators they located a tan leather knife sheath laying on the bed next to Mogan's right side. However, the courts ruled that this was essentially a quibble over, over nothing more than semantics. Officer Payne was the one to initially discover the sheath and then notified Idaho State Police officers to collect it. It was found that in no way does this small detail constitute a malicious misrepresentation or reckless omission, which was the defendant's burden to prove. Subsequently, the Idaho State Lab identified a single source of male DNA left on the button snap of the leather sheath. This DNA was later tested against CODIS by the Idaho State Police Forensics Lab. When this produced no hits, the sample was given in person on November 22nd, 2022 to Othram Labs to be involved in the next steps of testing. Othram stopped working on December 10th, 2022 after finding 2 main DNA matches. However, those matches were low, 70.7 and 60 centimorgans. Their recommendation was to test one of 4 brothers within the family tree of the 2 main matches to get a better picture of where the DNA found at the crime scene might fit. The brothers' names were redacted, but it is known during the IGG hearing that was held on January 23, 2025, that the last name of those 2 brothers was not Kohberger. The FBI, who took over the IGG work soon after, had better results, and a phone call was made on December 19, 2022, informing law enforcement to look into Bryan Kohberger. It was later learned that the FBI had violated TOS by using the public versions of both GEDmatch and MyHeritage to get these results, and the defendant motioned to have the evidence suppressed along with all the evidence that was collected based on the FBI's findings. The courts ruled that the FBI had not broken any laws, only the terms of service of both GEDmatch and MyHeritage. Therefore, the evidence stayed. On March 10, 2025, the defendant agreed to not raise any more issues related to IGG evidence, and the state agreed it would only seek to introduce evidence that law enforcement received as a tip without mention of the source or substance of the tip. So then DNA in Kohberger's residence garbage. On December 27th, so 3 days before his arrest, I'm just waiting for her to start crying. So the affidavit from law enforcement lists numerous surveillance cameras capturing the defendant's car. I've listed them below for convenience sake. If the evidence is accurate, it would directly contradict the defendant's statement of not having been in the vicinity of the murders at the time they occurred. So on August 21st, 2022, the defendant is detained as part of a traffic stop in Moscow, Idaho. The defendant is driving a 2015 Hyundai Elantra with Pennsylvania plates. During this stop, his cell phone number is also recorded. Law enforcement is able to later use this information to further their investigation by way of tracking the defendant's movements via AT&T and GPS. Actually, do I have that still up? I think these are the same. If they are, I'll just read off this other one. No, these are a little different. So November 13th at 2:44 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. It is unclear whether the state will be relying on this evidence anymore. November 13th, 2:53 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen traveling southeast on Nevada Street in Pullman, Washington towards State Route 270. November 13th, 3:02, the defendant's vehicle is observed on State Route 270 between Pullman and Moscow by video cameras at Floyd Cannabis Company. November 13th, 3:26 a.m., I'm just going to say the times after this. The defendant's vehicle is observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills Drive in Moscow, Idaho. And that's the road that's like behind the King Road residence. 3:28 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is observed traveling westbound on Steiner Avenue at Idaho State Highway 95 in Moscow, Idaho. 3:30 a.m., 3:39 a.m., and 3:56 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen multiple times in and around the King Road neighborhood. These sightings show defendant's vehicle makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leaves via Wallace Drive. 4:05 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. 4:07, the defendant's vehicle is seen one more time, putting the time of the murders at no later than 4:07 a.m. 4:21 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen heard departing the King Road residence area at a high rate of speed. At 5:26 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. The suspect was then observed turning north on Bishop Boulevard and northwest on State Route 270. November 13th, 5:26 a.m., the defendant's vehicle is seen in Pullman, Washington by cameras at the Sunset Mart located at 1455 Southeast Bishop Boulevard, Pullman, Washington. So they've got him going there, and they've got him going back. Now, they don't have them. And like we were talking about this last night, in every single house, because every single house doesn't have like a camera, that's pointing outward or even a camera at all. So they do have them though, like every other home or every few like businesses. So if you just put, if the jurors just put their common sense hats on, they're going to assume, they're going to know that's the same car, like that's traveling, even though it's not on every single direct camera. Like there's no, we don't have that. We have, where it's going to be like a camera here and then, a few, maybe a street over, a camera there. And I hope that, I think that will be good for the jury to see. I think that will be good enough. And I hope that they have a better map than what they put in the PCA for trial, because that one that is terrible. I hope they have a way better map than that. So then the cell phone GPS evidence, the affidavit from law enforcement lists GPS evidence of the movements of the defendant based on historical cell site information, location information, for the defendant's phone between November 12th, 2022 and November 13th, 2022. So November 13th at 2:42 a.m., phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to his apartment. November 13th at 2:47, defendant's cell phone is off or the network is disabled, last pinging southeast of the defendant's residence. And we have heard now through court documents that he turned his phone off and it had like 90% battery. I think actually we've heard that maybe from Steve Gonzalez. So it might not have been in a document, but I think it was in a document as well. So then at 2:47, defendant's phone is off. We just read that part. So it was last pinging southeast of the defendant's residence. At 4:48, phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to Idaho State Highway 95, south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine, Idaho, north of Genesee. So at 4:50 a.m. to 5:26 a.m., GPS data consistent with traveling from south of Idaho State Highway 95 to Genesee, Idaho, then traveling west towards Uniontown, Idaho, and then north back into Pullman, Washington. And that's when he makes the loop back home. At 5:30, GPS data consistent with the phone traveling back to the Kohberger residence in Pullman, Washington. At 9 a.m., GPS data consistent with phone leaving Pullman, Washington. And I have a question here too. 9:12 to 9:21, phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to King Road residents. And then at 9:32, GPS data consistent with the phone traveling back to the Kohberger residence in Pullman, Washington. So let me get my book here. My books. These are my books. They're PCAs. Let me see how do I word this? What if Bryan Kohberger, what if he went back in the house the next morning? We don't have proof that he never went back in that house, right? Do you think it's possible he could have went back in? I mean, he was there for 10 minutes. The girls would have been locked downstairs. I don't know. The neighbor said the front door was open though at 8:30 in the morning. This would have been around 9:15. I'm just trying to make things make sense, but I can't. I can't make that front door make sense that it's open. But I was reading through this evidence and I was thinking, what if he did go back in? Because it only says in the PCA, it says between 9:12 and 9:21 a.m., the 8458 phone next utilized cellular resources that are consistent with the 8458 phone traveling back to the area of the Kohberger residence and arriving to the area at approximately 9:32. So, and then it says up here, sorry, I should have read this specifically the 8458 phone utilized cellular resources that would provide coverage to the King Road residence between 9:12 and 9:21. So he's 9 minutes there. Then he goes home, takes a shower, takes a selfie. I just thought maybe he couldn't find it. Or maybe he went to go back in. I don't know. It's just 10 minutes is a long time. You think he was just sitting there maybe stewing? It doesn't show us anything. It doesn't tell us. It just says that like the GPS and the evidence so far, like, I mean, we don't, it just says that from 9/12 to 9/21, phone utilizing cellular resources that provide coverage to King Road residents. We just know he was in that area. I mean, he could have been like, maybe over a street, could have been down near, Linda Lane. Maybe they got him on camera, but we haven't even seen him on camera. We haven't, you know what I mean? Like, there's no camera footage. We've seen stuff now, you know what I mean? We haven't seen everything, but we've seen some things. Maybe that's one thing that they're keeping in their back pocket for trial. Like their whammy, like, we got you in the daytime back there. Like, maybe that's what it is, because all the other times are in the early morning hours to where it's dark out. Maybe they're saving that camera surveillance, like that footage, for later. Right, Felicia? Most cases are transparent. Oh, he did say something about that, didn't he, baby girl? See, he's going to get, I know them Google searches. I know he did some Google searches. He had to have. They all do. They all do. It's crazy to me that they do, but they do. They won't ask nobody because they can't. They go to Google. It says, if we were to coordinate the GPS data we have from the affidavit to the video surveillance evidence, it certainly seems to line up. A particular notice to me is the video footage of the defendant's car being seen departing the King Road residence at 4:21 a.m. and the defendant's phone reactivating around 4:48 a.m. near Blaine, Idaho. According to Google Maps, this trip could have taken anywhere from 18 to 23 minutes, depending on the route, which is well within the 27-minute window given the two events. Items obtained during the Kohberger search warrant, and we had went through these before. I think, does he have all of them? I think he does. Yeah, I think, and he actually had them right, because we went through and did the same thing. Like, went through and wrote them out. So the following are what was found during the search of the defendant Bryan Kohberger's property. So the defendant's car, sourced from the Pennsylvania court documents. Date served, it was December 30th, 2022. They were ready to get in that car. Make and model 2015 Hyundai Elantra. So items collected, swabs, and I believe that they collected like 2, and they were from Kohberger. Ziploc bag with pink zipper. 7 quarters, plastic baggie with green zipper. 36 dimes, 32 nickels, 8 pennies. I wonder what that adds up to. I'm just curious if it's like a certain number. I don't know. Gloves, receipts, car insurance card, car registration, hiking boots. Boots, hiking boots. Comfort in room key holder and stay information. Tire irons, shovel, goggles. Why would you need goggles? Like, what kind of goggles? Like swimming goggles? Are they like more of like glasses that you work if you're working with like paint chips or like wood chips and stuff, where they're like, on the sides, they have like that shelter on the side too, protection. Floor mats, reflective vest, used water bottles. I think that might have been where he was keeping his water bottles. If he couldn't go throw them away in the neighbor's trash, he would just like put them in his car. Because I feel like that's something that you would drink a lot of, or you have a lot of, compared to like food items that you're eating all of. Where are we at? Door panel, seats and seat cushions, headrest, seatbelt, visor, fiber, brake pedal, gas pedal, phone charger, Band-Aid, wrappers, maps, documents, seatbelt boot. And then they went, and he did have 6 weeks to clean, or less, a little less than, to clean out his car, get rid of evidence. They did say there was a lack of DNA and blood in that car. When they say lack of, I don't know if that means 0, but it means there's not a lot, if there's any, So I think we'll find out more about that during trial, but maybe beforehand. They are having a closed hearing on the 5th, so maybe we'll hear some more stuff. So Kohberger's apartment, they sourced from the full WSU search records. Date of search was December 30th. They hit up his parents' house, his car, and his house all the same day. They were prepared. Collected items, one nitrate type black glove, found in closet or north wall of entryway, one Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag. Now, why would Bryan Kohberger need Dickies? I can't think of a good reason. I mean, unless it's not what we think it is, unless it's not a Dickies suit, unless it's like a pair of pants or a jacket. I don't know. We won't know probably until trial, but I think that the investigators know because they probably went and took the ticket and went to the manufacturer and they pointed exactly what size and what item it was and what color by that SKU on that barcode. So 2 Marshall receipts, won't find nothing on those because those are Marshalls. They don't have like itemized list. They have they don't have like coffee mug or whatever, like they have kitchen or like accessories, or whatever it is, bathroom. It'll just be under that. It won't tell you what the item was that was purchased, if that makes sense. Also, they obtained a dust container from Bissell Power Force vacuum found in closet on north wall. Now, I wonder if it was just the dust container in there or if the whole vacuum was in there. I'm pretty sure they would have said they took the whole vacuum though, because the tube that, the stuff goes in, the bristles, they would want to check all of that for stuff. So this must have just been the dust container. 8 possible hair strands found on head of Libman broom found in closet. 1 fire stick. 8 possible hair strands found on head. I just read that. I thought it didn't. 1 fire stick with cord plug found plugged into the back of Samsung TV, west wall living room. TV stand. 1 possible animal strand found in northeast bedroom under computer pad on desk. 1 possible hair found on east wall of shower on tile bathroom. Wonder if anybody's been zooming in trying to look for that one piece of hair. He had more time though to shower. Let's get that off there. 1 possible hair found inside of drain shower. Man. 1 possible hair strand found in northeast bedroom. If you think about it, they didn't find anything. Like that's not a lot of hair to find. What, 5 pieces? 4 pieces? 4 pieces of hair in a whole apartment. You could probably find 4 pieces of hair around me right now on the floor. Like he must be super duper OCD. 1 computer tower found in northeast bedroom. That was his. That's what they went through. Dark red spot, flaked off surface upon touch, west of sink, kitchen counter, not tested and collected. Why not? 2 cutting from uncased pillow of reddish brown stain, larger stain tested, tested and collected as B. 2 top and bottom of mattress cover package separately, both labeled C, multiple stains, 1 tested. And then presumptive blood test. We're going to go, there's only a couple that were positive. Okay. These were all negative. Okay, so I'm going to read the positive ones. I'm trying to, there was more than one, wasn't there? There was. I only see, okay, so let's see what the positive ones is. Okay, here it is. So the positive one was reddish brown stain on uncased pillow, 2 separate stains, and it was collected and it was tested, and it tested positive as being BLOOD. And then the mattress cover on the bed that was in his room, irregular brown stain, positive, and they collected it. Could be nosebleed. I mean, it could be. But they did have a lot of like staining and stuff and reddish brown stains, a lot of those in the house. I don't know what they consider reddish brown stain, but I guess anything that was a stain was a reddish brown stain because they have, look at all this that they tested and it was all negative, So they tested a lot of stuff in there. The defendant's family home, they collected 1 Defiant silver flashlight, 4 medical style gloves, white Arizona Jean Company large t-shirt, Champion WSU large black sweatshirt, pair of black and white size Nike 13 shoes, pair of black Under Armour socks, Under Armour black large shorts, and this was on Bryan Kohberger's person, Under Armour black boxers large, and 1 buccal swab. So he was definitely taking some stuff out to the trash. I mean, he was ready to go. He had his shoes on, his shorts on, his boxers, his t-shirt, his sweatshirt. He was bundled up and everything. Gloves, had his little gloves, you know. Where was your balaclava in there? You know? Must not have that anymore. So the collected items that were found at the family's home during the FBI search, I want to actually see something really quick. I want to see if I have mine handy. Like, I don't think I do. First PCA, second PCA. This is the car search warrant. Search warrant on person. Parents' home. I must have sat it somewhere. These are all court documents. Yeah. Where did I put that paper? I'll have to look for it, but I'll be able to tell you if something doesn't look right. So collected items, knife, book with underlining on page 118. What was the last name? Oh, I'll talk about that in a minute. AT&T bill for Bryan C. Kohberger, a Glock 22 Generation 5 40 caliber, Smith & Wesson pocket knife, folder containing vehicle paperwork, Acer laptop, green leafy substance in green container, documents, white paper with password, power cable, cell phone, 3 Glock 40 caliber magazines that were empty, books, black face mask, prescription, black gloves, 1 black hat, 1 black mask, New Balance shoes, dark colored jacket. We've got 2 more dark colored jackets, 1, 2, 3 dark colored shirts, 2 pairs of dark colored pants, clear plastic gloves, Asus laptop with damage, another laptop with damage, record of sale for Glock. Item 929 is illegible, and I would be able to tell you what it is. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I swear. Is it in here? This closet door. I bet it's in that notebook somewhere. I just want to be able to tell you guys exactly what's on there. Okay. I'll have to figure it out. But actually, give me this thing. Search warrant on person. What number is it? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this page. Oh, of course, I only have 1 page of it in here. I must have taken it out. I'm just one of those people that are, you know, I just get like crazy about things. This is the PCA too, so okay. I'll have to find it though, because me and Vincent broke it down really well. We like broke this down because a lot of it was like motherboards and stuff, and he knows computers, so he could read that kind of stuff. I couldn't read it, so the next one was note and desk. Wonder what that says. Criminal psychology book, documents into Sales University notebook. Wonder why they wanted his DeSales University notebook. Extra large Columbia Navy, that's supposed to be Navy fleece. Drawing and then ID cards inside box, various criminology books, notes, license, and cards, black gloves, Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte, Samsung SSD, black box Samsung, 2 pairs of black gloves, 1 black knit hat, dark green short sleeve shirt, black long sleeve shirt, black sweatshirt, gray jacket, 2 pairs of black pants, 1 pair of black jeans, 2 pairs of black jeans, 2 black long sleeve shirts, 2 pair of black jeans or black pants, sorry. 1 gray jacket, 1 gray knit hat, 1 black glove, motherboard, Washington State University paperwork, note from Bryan, and it says Montana. I think that was the note to his dad. Craftsman's shop vac, medical documents, more documents. Note to dad from Bryan, maroon colored spiral notebook, dark colored clothes, tailor knife with leather sheath, swab S1, swab S2, 2 pair of dark colored boots, and 1 pair of brown boots. Now, I will say, do you guys remember the other day we were listening or we were reading through and we were talking about, we were reading through the document and it said that DM described the perpetrator's clothing as wearing all black, like black shirt, black pants. And I remember saying black boots, black boots. Okay. That sounds like something that you would wear to a murder scene, right? Not Vans, right? So I don't know whose Vans shoe is outside the door, but I'm going to read this to you guys because I'm confused now on whose shoe it could be because I think Bryan was wearing boots that night and that wouldn't create that pattern. But it says during the processing of the crime scene, investigators found a latent shoe print. This was located during the second processing of the crime scene by the ISP forensic team by first using a presumptive blood test and then AminoBlack, a protein stain that detects the presence of cellular material. The detected shoe print showed a diamond-shaped pattern similar to the pattern of a Vans-type shoe sole, just outside the door of DM's bedroom. And it says located on the second floor. This is consistent with DM's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. But she said he was wearing boots. So now I got to go back and find exactly where I saw that and be like, okay, it's just weird. Hey, AZ. Could be. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, PJs. Hey, Nathaniel. I haven't been on the other screen for a minute. Welcome in, everyone. Hey, Jody. I guess weed doesn't really leave you, but I did think it was weed. Hey, Tennessee gal. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. See, I remember reading it the other night, but I remember there's like 15 versions now of Dylan's story. I'm about to get back to him. Okay. I'm about to really duplicate this and go back up for a minute and see. It could have been between 22 and 20, between the year 22 and 25, though. Okay, that's her talking. Okay, right here. Maybe. Hold on. No, shoot. I thought I just saw it and that would be great. Hold on. That's not there, so. Not fat, not in a mask one. I literally just thought that right before the live, or I would have looked this up because I was like, where is it? I'm just trying to find all of her little things. This is about the ski mask. It's all about the bushy eyebrows. Here's another one. Okay, I'm about to say, I'm going to go through these later, and I'm going to look. I'm still looking. Okay, I'll look one more place. There's just so many times that they interviewed her. It wouldn't be up this high. Okay, so yeah, I'll have to go back through. I probably just missed it because I was trying to read so fast. But I'm pretty sure it was on this that we read it. Or like in one of the documents. We've just been reading so much lately. I can't remember. I need more notes. I need more Post-its. No, I've got plenty. It's just a lot of information. But I want to look that up because I want to make sure. But I'm remember somebody either saying we watched it or I read it that he was wearing boots because I was thinking, oh, boots. That's the first time I've heard that. I might have even said that to you guys. I just remember thinking it at least. And then when I was just reading, or I was just like thinking about the PCA and I was reading over some stuff tonight before the live, I was like, wait a minute. They said that was a Vans shoe. And that's why I was like, hold on, that's a little weird. So, yeah, we'll have to go back over that. So we'll go over this. We'll continue this and I will go over that and I will put it on the community tab if I can find it, which I should be able to. I won't stop until I do. So this is going to be other evidence the state intends to introduce. Okay. 1320 Linda Lane surveillance footage for November 13th, 2022. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th, 2022, and is approximately 0.3 miles from 1122 King Road. The state relies on footage from around 3:29 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle in the area of the crime scene prior to the homicides. 1330, which is next door to the Linda Lane, same road, surveillance footage for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th and is approximately 0.3 miles from 1122 King Road. The state relies on footage from 3:30 a.m. to 4:07 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle traveling around the area of the crime scene prior to the homicides. Then we've got Albertsons and Clarkston, video surveillance and business records for November 13th. Ooh, the business records. We're going to find out what he bought. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th. The state may rely on video footage from approximately 12:46 p.m. to 1:06 p.m. to show defendant's vehicle and actions hours after the homicides. Amazon financial and user records for Bryan Kohberger. These detail Bryan Kohberger's subscription information and order history from January 5th, 2022 to December 13th, 2022. AT&T phone records for Bryan Kohberger, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle. These phone records detail Bryan Kohberger's activity for November 12th through November 14th and Bryan Kohberger's activity for June 23rd, 2022 through December 23rd. The bagel shop video surveillance for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th at approximately 1:40 a.m. to 2 a.m. This evidence provides a timeline of events for Gonzalez and Mogen before the homicides and corroborates state's witness testimony. Hold on. I'm thinking. Okay. They must have been on their way home. Like they went and buy it. The bagel shop. I want to know where the bagel shop is. I really need a. Okay. I'm just writing myself a note. Like compared to like where the food truck and stuff is. Bank of America bank records for Bethany and Xana. The state no longer intends to rely on this evidence. If the state does, it will lay the proper foundation at trial. Banner Bank banking records for Ethan Chapin. The state no longer is going to rely on it. So I should just not talk about those ones. But Cafe Aristia, video surveillance for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th at approximately 1:40 a.m. This evidence provides a timeline of events for Gonzalez and Mogen before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. Okay, I want to know where that is too. If I don't write it down, I'll probably forget. And thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. If you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button. It really helps the channel. And I forgot to pin this to the top. If you'd like to become a member of our channel, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you become a member. I went ahead and I posted the link to the top of the chat if you would like to. So the Corner Club video surveillance video for November 12th through the 13th, 2022. The relevant footage is taken on November 12th, 2022 at approximately 10:20 p.m. through November 13th, 2022 at approximately 1:37 a.m. This evidence provides a timeline of events for Gonzalez and Mogan before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. Corner Club financial transaction receipts of sale for November 13th, 2022. This evidence provides a timeline of events for Gonzalez and Mogan before the homicides and corroborates state's witness testimony. Costco, Clarkston, Washington, surveillance video for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th. The state may rely on video footage from approximately 1:59 a.m. to show defendant's vehicle and actions hours after the homicides. So he's trying to go into the Costco, right? And probably get a jumbo size of bleach or baby oil, whatever, whatever you're fancy. And they're at their King Road residence calling 911 and going through the worst time in their whole lives. And he's at Costco. DeSale student record regarding Bryan Kohberger. The state has attached the relevant evidence, which would introduce to show defendant's knowledge of crime scenes. And that was his final paper that we read the other night. Dick's Sporting Good records of sale for Bryan Kohberger. The relevance of this information is that Bryan Kohberger purchased a black balaclava from Dick's Sporting Goods on January 10th, 2022. And I want to know if it's seasonal, like if that's a seasonal thing. This mask is the same type of mask described by DM that she witnessed worn by a male in the residence on November 13th, 2022. Discover financial records for Kayla Gonzalez. DoorDash records for Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin. The state may rely on the attached records from DoorDash regarding a delivery to 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022 at 3:59 a.m. This particular evidence provides a timeline of events for Kernodle before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. Early warning records. I don't know what that is. They're not going to rely on it any longer. My lips were dry, sorry. Elon, I guess that's how you say it, Elon. Financial records for Kayla Gonzalez. ENS Services. And that's Johnson Avenue in Washington, Pullman, Washington. Surveillance video for November 13th. The state may rely on the footage from November 13th at around 5:26 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle after the homicides in Pullman, Washington. I'm sure they will have that. They will use that. Farmers Insurance surveillance video for November 13th. I guess the state no longer intends to rely on this. Floyd's Cannabis Company surveillance video for November 13th. The state may rely on the video footage at around 3:02 a.m. showing a white sedan on State Route 270 between Pullman, Washington and Moscow, Idaho, approximately 1 hour before the homicides. Forrest Dax, Crypto.com, financial records for Bryan Kohberger. Oh, he was into the crypto. I could see that. I've never heard of Forrest Dax, though. It's crypto.com. Okay. I'll have to ask Vincent about it. He'll know. I'm going to ask him. Maybe we can get him on here to talk about it. Hey, Aries. Can I pet that? What does that say? Can I pet that wild Mountain Dew? That's the best one yet. Aries, that's the best name yet. I like that one. Stick with that one. I haven't drank wild Mountain Dew, though. I've drank regular, though. It could be wild. Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that, crypto.com. So Grub Truck video surveillance video for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken, from 1:43 a.m. to 1:53 a.m. This evidence provides a timeline of events for Gonzalez and Mogan before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. Harbor Freight business and surveillance records. Okay, the state don't intend to rely on that anymore. I'm trying to see the ones that they're not going to rely on. Okay. Latah County Sheriff's Office Deputy Darren Duke body camera video on August 21st, 2022. The state is in the process of obtaining a certificate of authenticity. What? You should have that already. Come on, guys. Latah County Sheriff's Office citation issued on August 21st, 2022. The state is in the process of obtaining a certificate of authenticity. Marshall's financial records for Bryan Kohberger. Oh, they're not going to rely on that. Well, that's a good idea. Because they're not going to be able to tell you what he bought anyway. Like I'm telling you, like they can't. National Weather Service records for November 12th and 13th. Numerica bank records for Kayla Gonzalez. The state isn't going to rely on that. Sorry. PayPal Venmo financial records. The state is in the process of obtaining a certificate of authenticity. PNC bank records for Bryan Kohberger. Is PNC still open? Because like I know the one over here closed. Pentella data records. I don't know what that's for. Pennsylvania State Employee Credit Union for Bryan Kohberger. Petco financial records for Kayla Gonzalez. They're not going to use that as evidence, but okay. Rite Aid financial records, no longer going to use that. Okay, let me go down and stop reading the ones that the state's not going to rely on. Sunset Mart surveillance video for November 13th. And it says the relevant footage is taken on November 13th, approximately 0.5 miles from 1122 King Road. The state may rely on video footage from around 3:28 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle in the area of the crime scene prior to the homicides. Sunset Mart surveillance video for November 13th. The state may rely on it from approximately 5:25 a.m. to 5:26 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle in Pullman, Washington after the homicides. Target financial records. Whose were they? They're not going to rely on those, but I want to know what you guys all got at Target. TikTok user records for Xana Kernodle. The records would show Xana Kernodle on the TikTok app on November 13th at approximately 3:16 a.m. Why? Okay, now I feel like I'm losing my brain. Wasn't she on it at 4 o'clock, 4 something? Now you're gonna make me go through this and look. I'm gonna be looking. Like 4:20, 4:17. I know it's on page 1 through 7. Just don't know which page. If anyone knows though. Yeah, you thought like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, or maybe it was 4:12. I think you're right. I think Bobby's right. And I think 4:17 was when we heard the dog bark and the whimper and the thud. So yeah. They need to stop changing stuff around. I'm gonna look into that too, because that's craziness. Because now we're seeing 3:16 and Dylan wasn't asleep like we all thought she was, until 4 a.m. when she was awoken. There's just so much stuff. So TJX financial records, they're not going to rely on that. So T-Mobile phone records for Gonzalez and Mortensen. The state would seek to show this phone records for Gonzalez and Mortensen on November 13th. This evidence provides a timeline of events before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. So they're only asking for the phone records to be used on that date. So that there kind of shows that maybe there wasn't a connection through the phones. Umpqua bank records for DM. Under Armour transaction record for Bryan. They're not going to use that. U.S. Chef store. Video surveillance for November 13th. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th. The state may rely on video footage from approximately 12:42 a.m. to 12:42 p.m. to 12:44 p.m. to show defendant's vehicle and actions hours after the homicides. That's when he was, in Clarkston. Ulta, okay, they're not going to use that. Verizon records for Ethan Chapin. The state would seek to show the phone records for Chapin, BJ, and JD on November 13th, 2022. This evidence provides a timeline of events before the homicides and corroborates state witness testimony. Walmart surveillance and financial transaction records for Bryan Kohberger. I guess they're not going to, what? The state no longer intends to rely on this evidence? Okay, well, that would be stupid because if you have surveillance video from Walmart, then you've got gold in your hand. Like, they see everything. They know and they see everything. So if he was there, they would have had him on camera. Why are we not using that? Okay. Washington Department of Motor Vehicle registration documents for Bryan Kohberger. Washington Trust Bank records for Bryan Kohberger. Wells Fargo Bank records for Madison Mogan. They're not going to use that any longer. Sorry, guys. I keep reading the ones they're not going to no longer use. It says Washington State University surveillance from November 13th. The state may rely on video footage from November 13th from approximately 5:28 to 5:30 a.m. showing the suspect vehicle after the homicides in Pullman, Washington. WSU parking records. The state may introduce these records to show Bryan Kohberger's Hyundai Elantra was registered with the WSU system and had an active permit at WSU. And then these are various other search warrants that were obtained. So Amazon all account data purchases for the K-bar, the sheath, and it says K-bar full size USMC straight edge knife. And then the Amazon American Express, Apple for Xana Kernodle, the American Express for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, Apple iCloud account for Maddie, Apple iCloud account for Kaylee, Apple iCloud account for Ethan, Apple account for unknown user. I'm going to say that's one of the victims, like, that are alive, victims that are here still. Let's see. AT&T phone records for unknown person, assumed to be the defendant. Well, yeah, I would say that too because he has an AT&T. But there's another one, phone records for unknown persons. AT&T all GPS data from the service provider for each device that connected to it on from November 13th between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. I would say that's for Kohberger. Bank of America financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Was everyone got Bank of America? Vincent's got Bank of America too. Everyone's got Bank of America. Banner Bank financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Block financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Blue Ridge Knives, all purchases of a K-bar, KA1217S, and a USMC fighting knife sheath, and all known purchases of K-bar knives. Charter Communications, all data associated with unknown spectrum wireless router. With an unknown spectrum wireless router, okay. I'm going to say that might be the router to the house, to the King Road residence, is what I'm guessing. Discover Bank financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, 3 unknown people. DoorDash, all sales, deliveries, purchases, or transactions made to the King Road residence. And it says from January 1st, 2022 to present. Well, not present now because there's nothing there to deliver to. Dropbox account information requested for unknown persons. Probably Bryan Kohberger. I don't know. It could be anybody. They're all in college. So eBay, all users who purchased either it's ASIN 404016324938. And that's a K-bar full-size U.S. Marine Corps fighting knife, K-bar leather knife sheath. eBay, all users who purchased either a K-bar USMC knife sheath or K-bar UMC full-size, January 1st, 2022 to date. Alon Financial Services for Kaylee, Extreme Network Services, decrypted access to Kaylee Gonzalez's computer, Facebook, Instagram account for Kaylee, Facebook, Instagram for Xana, Facebook for Ethan, Facebook for Maddie, Facebook for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Facebook account data for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, Dylan, Bethany between June 23rd and August 1st. Why? That's weird dates. Hmm. Wonder why they would want their information from months before the murder. So what? That's 5 months before the murders? Oh, there's so much we don't know, you know? And when you read through the actual stuff, you're like, "Wait a minute." You know, you're like, "Hold on a second here." I don't it's different, like, reading it like this compared to when we were reading it in the documents. Um, so then it says again, Facebook for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, Maddie, Dylan, and Bethany between June 23rd and August 1st. Google account for Kaylee, Google account all account data for Bryan, Google, for Bryan, Google for Bryan, man. Idaho Central Credit Union, financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Idaho Department of Labor, financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Idaho Department of Labor, like, man, where are they going? Inland Cellular, all GPS data from the service provider, 0.5-mile radius for each device that connected to it from November 13th, 2022 between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Instagram for Ethan and various redacted users. Instagram account for Xana, Maddie between June 23rd and November 21st. Wasn't the first one June 23rd too? Yeah, it was. So what's June 23rd? I'm gonna write that down. Does anyone know? It would have been the same year. So it would have been 2022. I thought it was May. But I don't know. I thought that he moved there in May of 2022. Let's see if I can look it up. It says he moved there between June and August. It says neighbors gave interviews to the state. Bryan moved into the complex in August. But it says the hairstylist said she gave him a haircut in July. So I don't know. Let's see. I can't. Okay. It says after moving to Pullman in June 2022. Okay. So it was June. And this is saying June 2022. Yeah, it's June. I thought it was like May or June. I knew it was like right in the beginning of like the summer. My belly is growling. Hopefully you can't hear that. I just ate before the live too. Okay, well, they were saying it because they're saying there was no social media connection, but I just don't know. I don't know if I believe that, right? And this is kind of like saying maybe there was. So Google account for Kaylee. Okay, we read through all those. Google for Bryan, Idaho. Read that. The Instagrams, and then K-Bar Knives, all data and on purchases and distribution of K-Bar. See, like, I'm wondering if he ordered more than one knife even, because it says Blue Ridge Knives and then K-Bar Knives and then the Amazon and then eBay. Did you order more than one, bruh? Microsoft account for unknown users on or about November 13th. Miscellaneous 2 terabyte Seagate external hard drive containing export of Bryan Kohberger's phone data. Wow. 2 terabytes just from his phone? They exported his phone and they got 2 terabytes of data off of it? What the heck's he have on his phone? Hey, Southernish. What is he working with on his phone? Oh, that's a lot. Numerica Credit Union, financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. PayPal, Venmo, for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, 3 unknown people. PayPal, Venmo account for unknown user between June 22nd, so the day before they want the phone records, to December 31st, 2022. I'm going to say Bryan Kohberger, even though it's one day after he got arrested. I'm just going to say I think those are probably his. Potlatch number 1 financial credit union for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, Kaylee, 3 unknown people. How many bank accounts y'all need? Reddit account for Kaylee, Reddit account for Bryan, Snapchat records for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, Maddie, Dylan, and Bethany between June 23rd and August 1st. Snapchat records for Maddie between August 1st and November 20th. Okay. Snapchat records for Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and 3 unknown persons between August 1st and November 20th. Spotify account for unknown user between June 1st and December 29th. And that's going to be Bryan Kohberger, I bet, because he has a Spotify account with his rap on it. Strava account data for Bryan Kohberger. TikTok account for Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee. TikTok account for Ethan, Dylan, and Bethany. And it says from June 1st to present. TikTok account data for Bryan Kohberger. Tinder account for Maddie. Tinder account for Kaylee. Tinder all account data for Bryan Kohberger from June 1st to 2022. From June 1st, 2022 to current. Tinder all data for, where's that? Bryan Kohberger. Tinder unknown data request. All subscriber information between November 3rd to 2022 to present. T-Mobile, all GPS data from the service provider for each device that connected to it from November 13th between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Is it weird that they would obtain Tinder accounts from the 2 girls that were in serious relationships, but not from the 2 girls that weren't? What's up with the Tinder? What's going to be on with that? What's going on with that? They didn't all have Tinder. That's the thing, AZ. Only it looks like Maddie and Kaylee did. And Kohberger, we know, did because he went on the date. I don't know if they were maybe Maddie or maybe Kaylee just signed up and her and her boyfriend had just broke up. Maybe she was like, I'm going to a new state, new town. I need to meet people maybe. But Maddie was in a serious relationship. Maybe she had it beforehand, and they still had their accounts. I know when I got with Vincent, I just deleted my account. Didn't need it anymore, Didn't need the Tinder anymore. All those times of swiping were just gone. So T-Mobile, all GPS data from service provider for each device connected to it from November 13th between 3 and 5 a.m. T-Mobile, all data records associated with an unknown person device from August 1st, 2022 on. T-Mobile, all data records associated with unknown person from August 22 on. From June 23rd to August 1st. Sorry about that. I read the wrong one. Twitter, all account data for Bryan Kohberger. He has Twitter? I wonder if we can get on there. Umpqua Bank, financial records for Ethan, Maddie, Xana, and Kaylee, and 3 unknown people. Umpqua Bank, again, exterior camera surveillance footage from November 12th, 2022 at 9 p.m. So on November 13th. So they must have went to the bank. It looks like exterior camera, like if you were to go up to an ATM, you know what I mean? And at 9 p.m., they're going to be closed. So maybe that's what it is. UPS, any and all video that is recorded and stored on any delivery trucks that were in Moscow, Idaho between the dates of November 6, 2022 through November 14th, 2022. Oh, it's pretty. They want to know. Verizon, all GPS data from the service provider, 0.5 mile radius for each device connected to it from November 13th between 3 and 5 a.m. Verizon, all data records associated with unknown persons. Verizon, all data records associated with 3185 and the 1841. I don't know whose numbers those ones are. From June 23rd to August 1st. Walmart, all users who purchased either a K-Bar USMC fighting knife sheath or a K-Bar full-size USMC straight edge knife from January 1st, 2022 to date. Financial records for Ethan Chapin, Maddie Mogan, Xana Coronado, Kaylee Gonzalez, and 3 unknown people from Wells Fargo. Yahoo account information for Kaylee. YouTube account for unknown user between June 1st, 2022 and December 29th, 2022. I'm going to say that's Kohberger. Yik Yak, all account data for Bryan Kohberger. Okay. That was a lot. And we're going to go over here now. I read a lot to you guys. So this is the evidence against Bryan Kohberger. This video came out yesterday. And that was a little bit, we just went over a little bit of the, evidence that has come out against Bryan Kohberger. And that was a lot. I'm going to have to go back through that again. Because, that's amazing. Some of the stuff that we read tonight, and we're like, what's this? What's this? What's that? I mean, I have got like papers everywhere now. You know me, I like to write some stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. How many people do we have in here tonight? Let's see. We have 143 wonderful people in here on this Saturday evening. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button for your girl. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, we'd love to have you. We do members only. I'm going to start doing, I do members only live streams, but I'm going to start putting out members only videos, which I did last night, my first one, and it went to regular watchers today at 11:15. So they got it. You guys will get that for like an extra 12 hours. You'll get videos, and then we'll do members only lives, and we're going to do some giveaways here soon, and all that good stuff. So if you'd like to become a member, we'd love to have you. Look at them getting better with their thumbnails on the CW. Okay.
Once police started looking into Bryan Kohberger, the more they learned about him, the more intriguing he became as a potential suspect.
When Bryan Kohberger turned out to be a criminology student, that added an entirely new layer to the story. He ended up going to community college and sort of developing a really intense interest in murder. and that sort of carried him into grad school and beyond. He studied under a very, very prominent professor who's a serial killer expert. And I think that might have fascinated him. But he was known academically for having an interest specifically in crime scenes and DNA.
In the case of Kohberger, he obviously took it a step further by trying to obtain a doctorate degree in criminology. It's hard to know what his motivation and perspective was, but given how this individual seems to have a high need for specificity, for precision, while we don't know for sure, and it's speculation, it's not unreasonable to think that what he was really also trying to do was understand how to commit a perfect crime.
By the second week in December, even though they had cell phone tower data, which failed to place him at the scene of the crime, authorities, they were still keeping close tabs on potential suspect Bryan Kohberger. This was as the fall semester was coming to a close.
He made plans to drive across the country home to Pennsylvania for winter break. His dad flew out to make the drive with him.
I suspect that there was some type of physical surveillance involved, if not for the full trip, then at least a good portion of the trip.
They were stopped a couple times by police in Indiana.
He was right up on the back end of that van, pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay, cool. Where are you headed?
Well, it's a strange exchange. Bryan seemed to avoid saying where they were really headed.
People theorize that the police who made these stops were aware of who he was and had intelligence about his connection to a possible crime.
Perhaps there was a reason why they wanted to slow him down, maybe for surveillance to catch up with him. Perhaps it was also to see what was going on inside the vehicle.
Well, do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay?
Officers never ticketed Kohberger for any traffic violations, and they let him go.
Upon arrival in Pennsylvania, authorities were keeping an eye on Kohberger as a person of interest.
DNA extracted from the knife sheath found at the crime scene didn't yet point to one particular individual, but it helped investigators establish a family profile.
If they only do have that touch DNA and that one piece of genetic evidence, they are going to need other evidence to help back that up and tie a suspect directly to that crime scene. They have to collect DNA directly from that individual and compare it against the court admissible genetic profile.
At the time, Bryan Kohberger was staying at his parents' house in a gated community called Indian Mountain Lake.
The first thing they look to do is retrieve discarded household trash.
But once Kohberger was in Pennsylvania, he was, according to the police, super hyper vigilant about not leaving prints anywhere. He wore gloves everywhere he went.
How someone acts after a crime could be argued to be relevant if it suggests consciousness of guilt. Why would somebody be wearing gloves when they're putting out the garbage or cleaning their car? Is it because they're trying to eliminate certain fingerprint evidence or anything that could be tied back to them?
I'm not going to lie, I clean with gloves. I clean with gloves every time I clean.
Unfortunately,
I'll give them
for
that.
him, his parents were not being as hyper vigilant. So police were able to get the family's trash.
They pulled that DNA from Bryan Kohberger's parents' house and it didn't match the suspect. Well, there's two males in this home that we know of, right? There's Bryan and his father. This is male DNA. Let's run a paternity comparison. And they got the match then. They apparently got his father's DNA. Now, because his father is a first-degree relative, they can still use that STR profile.
That was the final straw. Investigators at that point were 99.9998% certain they had the right guy.
While investigators were following the DNA trail in Pennsylvania, police in Idaho were still troubled by that cell phone tower data from the night of the attack. But now they had enough other evidence to apply for a search warrant for Kohberger's full cell phone tracking data.
Bryan Kohberger's cell records were a treasure trove of information. Wouldn't you know, Mr. Kohberger's phone was turned off at 2:47 a.m. the night of the murders. It also revealed that the phone was turned back on and traveling from Idaho back into Washington after 4:30 a.m. Now, why would someone turn off their phone at 2:30 in the morning only to turn it back on at 4:30?
Anytime somebody turns off their phone, it suggests that they're trying not to be picked up by communications networks during that particular time.
Prior to the murders, a continued examination of Bryan Kohberger's cell phone revealed that on 12 separate occasions, Mr. Kohberger's phone is found in the area of King Road, essentially in the middle of the night. Was he stalking our young victims? Was he preparing to commit the crime? See, I look at that in those 12 occasions, and then I look at November 13th and I say that occasion was different because when he left his house that 13th time at 2:47 a.m., he shut his phone off. Why? I think it was game on at that point.
For the sprawling network of federal, state, and local authorities investigating these murders, all the pieces of the puzzle were finally starting to come together.
This isn't just DNA. It's the DNA of the guy who happens to own a Hyundai 2015 white, who lives in the area, whose phone number happened to ping off the tower 13 times total, happened to be shut off that night, who's approximately 5'10", with bushy eyebrows. Bryan Kohberger is either the killer or the unluckiest person in America.
Literally. Literally. And I'm gonna say the latter.
The FBI
He had luck for 6 weeks. Can you imagine though, like getting away with something like, for like 6 weeks? I think that I would start to feel a little cocky maybe after 6 weeks. It's almost 2 months. I don't know how I'd feel. I mean, I wouldn't do this, but if I were a unaliver, I feel like I would start to be like feeling a little cocky after like at a certain point. I don't know if 6 weeks would do it. Maybe 6 months, but maybe 6 years. I don't know.
I assembled a team on the ground in Pennsylvania.
I'd probably be paranoid because I'm paranoid all the time.
All the parties agreed it was time to act.
A SWAT team rushed from the forested area around the house and surrounded it, broke the front window. The sounds of shattering glass and breaking wood.
He was found to be awake in the residence. A SWAT team from the Pennsylvania State Police, in coordination with federal authorities, served that arrest warrant.
For a lot of people, there was sort of a sweet sense of justice. He's charged with murdering them in the dead of night while these kids felt safe in their bedrooms. And in the dead of night, the SWAT team came for Kohberger.
Major breaking.
Just imagine. This makes me kind of giggle if he is guilty. This makes me giggle. Imagine being like, so we've heard a rumor. We don't know if this is true, but that Bryan's dad may have flown out to meet Bryan and drive back with him because Bryan's afraid of airplanes. Like he doesn't like to fly. He's afraid of flying. So if he is, they put him in a tin can. I mean, it was like a 6-seater airplane and had him fly across America pretty much. I'm sure he was freaking out.
News Friday, an arrest in the case 47 days later. Bryan Kohberger, a graduate student studying criminology at Washington State University, was taken into custody in Pennsylvania.
When Bryan Kohberger got arrested,
I wonder when they walked him into the jail if the other inmates were like hollering, like not that they could see him, but they would know he was probably coming. Like I'm sure a cop or a jailer said to another jailer, "Oh, they got Bryan Kohberger. They're sending him here." And a jailer was probably out there on his duties, mopping the floor and heard it and probably took it back to the cell block and was like, "We're getting Bryan Kohberger in here." So, I mean, I wonder if they were all yelling his name or, hooting and hollering when he came in, or I'm just curious. And I'm curious because I wonder if they did have to walk him past any of the like dorms or whatever they are, cells, like cell blocks to get to the segregation unit.
said there was like this feeling of, okay, it wasn't any person that we had ever talked about.
It wasn't either.
And we're like, oh, that's him. He's tall. He's got the bushy eyebrows.
I ain't gonna lie. When they walked him in, I was too busy looking at that cop. I had to like rewind it.
You get like this kind of
cute
sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. Like this is the guy.
I have to tell you guys something after this.
Everybody did their job and they did it well. I think there was a collective exhale among all of the citizens here in town and probably further afield than that.
On January 5th, just a few days after the arrest, Kohberger made his first appearance in an Idaho court. I was there on the ground, on the scene to report, and the vibe was very somber. It was really fraught with emotion.
Remember, this is a small town. They don't really deal with high-profile cases like this, even going in the courthouse today. I mean, it's a small courthouse.
Remember, I told you guys I was going to super glue myself to Brian Enton so I can go to the courthouse? I was like, that's the only way you can get in. He was there always, first person. That's probably his bike right there. Probably rode it on down there.
You could only imagine the tension in that courtroom as Bryan Kohberger.
I'm sorry, but look at the way he walks in. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if it's the way he's built, but he does have a weird gait to him.
You could only imagine
Maybe it's the shackles on the feet.
The tension in that courtroom as Bryan
You can hear him.
Kohberger makes his very first appearance to the world. And all you can hear is the sound of his shackles clanging across the floor.
Can you hear him?
Bryan Kohberger never looked at the victims' families in court Thursday, only looking in the direction of his lawyer and the judge.
Is Mr. Kohberger prepared to plead to these charges?
Your Honor, we will examine in a second.
Because Mr. Kohberger is standing silent, I'm going to enter not guilty pleas.
When it came time for Bryan Kohberger to actually stand up and enter a plea, he wouldn't do it. He stood silent. So that forces the judge to just enter a not guilty plea for him. And there are a couple of reasons why a lawyer and a client might decide to do that. One of which is that you have the right preserved to question the mental state of the suspect at the time of the crime. And we don't know if that's why they did it, but it's possible.
One thing that was clear after the initial court appearance, this would be a long and drawn-out process for the victims' families, and there would be no resolution anytime soon.
This is not the end of this investigation. In fact, this is a new beginning.
When the trial happens, it's going to be ripping off a very nasty Band-Aid that has to happen. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to sting.
It's going to be quite a circus, and I think a lot of details that have not come out are going to be sort of showcased, and we're going to learn so much more about what actually happened that night.
Some of the things that will perhaps come out will be the efforts they took to find the knife, if the knife was purchased by Kohberger.
The Hyundai Elantra was taken into custody. His laptop, his cell phone. Those items are going to be the subject of intense forensics examinations. And undoubtedly, there could be information in those items that will support the prosecution's case.
The key element in the trial is going to be the touch DNA collected at the scene. But experts say there is a chance that it doesn't even hold up in court.
Forensically, touch DNA is not as strong as DNA from blood or other bodily fluids because touch DNA is actually more susceptible to contamination.
Touch DNA can be transferred. You can shake someone's hand and then they can leave your DNA somewhere. So I do think that when you only have touch DNA, you really do have to have other evidence that ties someone to a crime scene. It's not a slam dunk like it might be in some cases where you find the perpetrator's blood mixed with the victim's blood.
This is a capital case.
That
The
would
fact that the
be
prosecution
something
is
else.
seeking the death penalty against Bryan Kohberger really turns the volume up on this case because his life now hangs in the balance.
His eyes there don't even look blue. Like, did you guys see that? Oh, I guess this is over, but hold on. Like, they almost, I don't know what color they look, but they do not look like blue. Like, you know what I mean? Like his normal, normal eyes. Let me get a picture of him up. Where, like, okay, none of these pictures are going to show me his eyes. Here's one. Okay, so you see this image. This is right when he was arrested, so I don't know why this one is like, this one, his eyes look blue. This is when he was going to his first court appearance. And then the other one was when he was first arrested. First arrested, they got him in the turtle suit, you know, the suicide smock. We're all good over here, YouTube. Last time I said that word, they sent me like a hotline number. I'm like, oh gosh, we weren't talking about doing that to ourselves. But I can see. I mean, he looks more. Maybe he slept a little. I don't know. This was before he shaved. Remember when he shaves, he cuts himself. Yeah, I don't think he'll take the stand. I don't know though. He might be like, "F it, I'm doing it." He might get cocky. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he's going to. Yeah, the lights are shining more in his face than the red. You're right. But it's like, man, his eyes just look so much darker here, you know? They look almost green, like they match his smock. Maybe they do. Maybe they change like a little bit. You know how some people have those like, they have like pretty eyes like that. They like change with like their whatever shirt they're wearing. If they're wearing like more of a blue shirt, they pop out and look more blue. If we're more green, it looks more green. Yeah, the Southernish, this is his way this is his new hey Nash Native. This is his new thing. I mean, this is his new journey, destiny. It's crazy his mom, put that letter online or wherever it's online now, about the death penalty and how she doesn't like agree with it. So oh, he does look like Bundy, Ministry of Defense. Yeah. Let me see if I can get. He does look like him. There's one picture in particular where they. I mean, I can see that they do look similar. Let's find a picture. Let's see here. I was actually going to do a live on that, on Ted Bundy and Bryan Kohberger. We did it before, but I have more information now. Trying to find like. I don't know. This one might not be a good one. I don't know. This one could be good. I mean, this one kind of looks like him. Bushier eyebrows, I guess. What else do we have? I'm trying to find one of them in court, but they're all like. I'm trying to find one that's like colored, but they're not. I guess they're saying he kind of looks like Luigi. I guess Luigi Mangione dubbed Gen Z's Ted Bundy. Oh gosh. I'll put this image up. It's of Mangione and Ted Bundy. I guess it's the bushy eyebrows. What's up with the bushy eyebrows, everybody? I'm going to go cut Vincent's eyebrows in his sleep. He'll never know. He'll never know. Hey, Suntas Flo. What if BK is innocent? Well, we'll find that out when we go to trial. And if he is, then they need to go do more work, I guess. I don't know. That would be something, but I don't know. I just don't see them saying not guilty. But if they do, I mean, we'd have to see, huh? Hey, guilty of crime. I think that's might have been the one I was looking for. There's one in particular I was looking for, and I'm like, I think it might have been that one. I can't believe they do look a lot similar though. They do look similar. I forgot Zac Efron starred as him as Ted Bundy in like a film, but I didn't watch it. Let me know if you guys watched it. I never did watch it. Yeah, they don't have that picture of him up. I put in his name. Do I need to put Theodore in there? Nobody definitely does have similar characteristics. Here's another one. This one's kind of small, but look at this kid behind him. Just smiling. What in the bloody... Man, it was a different time back then. It was a different time, wasn't it? Send somebody smiling. Southernish, not only are they writing him letters, they're giving him money. Like I mean, he had over $500,000 or something last time we checked up on him. Isn't that crazy? Like, people, I think 2 different donors, because we looked it up, gave like 20,000 or 25,000. What? There are so many things that I could think of that I could do with $20,000 to $25,000, and not one of them is sending it to somebody in jail. Not anybody. Not anybody. I could do so much with that. I mean, even if you gave it to a charity, Big Brothers Big Sisters, or we've done stuff for the missing children's and stuff. Like, send it to a foundation. I don't know. I mean, just don't give it away. But how does that work? Actually, I guess he could use the money because he's not convicted yet. That's the way that, I mean, because if he's convicted, then he can't get any royalties, right? So that's the Sam's Law. So I mean, it's smart. Do I like Tina Fey? I do, actually. Hey, Devin, welcome in. I'm happy I have a natural slim unibrow. I used to have a unibrow when I was younger, when I was like 12, and we got that thing. First time I got my eyebrows waxed when I was like 13, 12 or 13. And my mom came to get me. It was me and my best friend and the hairstylist, which is my sister-in-law now, but we had no idea that would ever happen. That was like way, way before she was my sister-in-law. She said, your daughter had a boy or something like that. My mom came to get me because I was screaming. I was screaming. Like, it hurt so bad the first time. I was such a baby. Southernish fell asleep. Must be my voice. Oh, Jen Soto gets me fired up. Mothers that, in my opinion, treat their children badly, or do things, give their children to other people for them to be treated badly, are the scum of the earth. I mean, she handed her child to somebody on a silver platter and said, "Here you go." Yeah, guilty of crime. You're absolutely right. I couldn't even cover it anymore. Oh man, it was emotional. That's an emotional case. And they do need to arrest Jen Soto. They do. They really do need to arrest her. I believe they need to arrest half the family. I bet everybody that was living in that household needs to be arrested, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. But I do have some news for you, because I don't know, Doodlebug's still in here. Hey, Texas Ranger. On our live on the second channel, we have another channel, Unfiltered with Tanya. We were talking earlier today, and Doodlebug said that America's Most Wanted is airing a special on Chelsea Grim. And I don't know. So if you're new to my channel, we were covering Chelsea Grim back in October 2023. Yeah. Okay. These years are going by way too quick. She went missing out in Arizona. She had her bearded dragon with her, and they were going on a cross-country trip to Connecticut from California to go to a wedding. And she literally disappeared off the face of the earth. She went to a hotel, tried to pay in euros, saying that she was trying to hide from her ex. She was scared. It's a very, very interesting case. Very interesting. So yeah, sorry, America's Most Wanted missing. But so I'm gonna see if I can play that for you guys on Monday, but I'm gonna go over, I think, the case tomorrow. I reached out to Chelsea's sister. I've never done that I don't usually reach out to people, but I did see that her sister is actively looking for her and putting stuff on her Instagram. And so I reached out and I just said that we've been covering the case. And if there's anything that we can do over here to help get the word out, just let us know. And I'm sorry. And, all that stuff. So, hey, Reba. So yeah, it should have, it should come on Fox Nation. Let me check that really quick, because I saw that Fox Nation had the missing persons thing on here. Let's see. I just saw that, I thought. Okay, let me just look. Let me search for it. Missing persons. Yeah. America's Most Wanted. Is it hosted by Harris Faulkner? There's only one on here, season 1. I'm signed in. I hate when it says I'm not signed in. This is from 429. So this might be the one that's for Sebastian. I bet it is. So it'll probably come on the next day or something. Okay, well, we'll watch it probably. I mean, we should be able to if it's on Fox Nation. We've watched stuff off Fox Nation before, never had a problem. They're usually pretty good to us over there. So I think that's all I had for you guys for tonight. I've got so many notes wrote down for stuff I need to look up, and I really just put myself into a rabbit hole, I think. So, but I appreciate you guys being here. Is it on YouTube already? The Chelsea Grimm one? So it comes on YouTube earlier? Yeah, Grant Solomon case too. Yeah, we went over, we covered that, and then we haven't done we need to do a update. We need to do like a case update. No, Sebastian. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't watch it. I'm not going to. It'll just, get my blood pressure up and, Really? I didn't know that. So I remember the name Southernish. I needed to look into her. She was the one from Gary, Indiana as well, right? Because I was going to do I want to do a live where we catch up on like older cases that we cover. Like we haven't even went back to remember Emma Baum? She disappeared from Gary. Still missing. Like the last thing there's January 19th, 2025 is like the last thing I see on her, but we do need to do a case update thing. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. And then maybe Monday we'll do Chelsea Grimm or something. But we'll figure it out. We'll do like a case update. Because that's what we need to do. And then we'll do a full live over Chelsea Grimm and get caught up. Because there is stuff out on her case. Like her parents, I think, did maybe an interview, or there's at least some stuff that's like come out, about it. I remember looking earlier. So her family, still trying to maintain hope. It's really sad. Let me put her picture up. This is Missing People in America. I'm going to use their flyer, even though I think that, it should be fine. Chelsea Grimm, she was last seen September 30th, 2023, but her parents didn't call it until October 5th. She's 32, 5'8", 135. She was last seen on Forest Service Road 6. It's just a dirt road where her vehicle was disabled. She had 2 flat tires. She was contacted by 2 hunters, but denied any assistance. She didn't want anyone to help her. This was the last sighting of Chelsea. She has not been seen or heard from since. If you have any information, call Coconina County Sheriff at 928-774-4523. Let me say that again. 928-774-4523. Or you can scan this little QR code. I'm sure you can scan that. You too, Mr. Rosebud. It's probably super early or super late there. Super early in the morning. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. We'll definitely talk about Chelsea again because, you think he's going to play? You Stephen Stearns or Kohberger? Because I think Kohberger might try to take a plea, but he ain't going to get one. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, baby girl. Appreciate it. I went live earlier on my second channel. If you guys want to go and recap, we just ended up having a little afternoon talk. I was going to come on and talk about like creators and stuff, not like creators, but just like the drama in between the creators. Just wanted to put my 2 cents in, and then I didn't even get around to doing it. Really, I was just like, oh, that's exhausting. But me and Southernish are going to do a live tomorrow over there around like 1:15 or 2:15. I'll make the thumbnail earlier in the morning. That way everybody knows. And we're just going to have like open panels. If you guys want to come up and just talk and hang out with us, well, we're going to go over there and do that. It'll be fun. So it's more of like just open topics and, you know, we just go from there. Like today we talked about all kinds of stuff. It was really nice. It was a good one. See, it is secret meetings. Well, we're going to have them anyway, Reva. You're going to be working? Oh, man. My other channel, I'll put it in the chat. It's, should be able to look it up, like with my name. I'll try. Let me put the actual thing in. Like the link. I couldn't think of the damn word. I was trying to think of it. I was at the church getting hygiene kits put together. Sorry, I missed it. Oh, that's Mary Beth. You're fine, honey. That is way better. And thank you, Guilty Crime. Yeah, no, that's way better than what we were talking about. You know what I mean? Like we were hanging out, but I'm sure that those ladies need you. And that should be the right length. I'm going to check it really quick. It's not the right one, probably, is it? Okay, HTTPS. Did I not put it in right? Did I not spell unfiltered? Or did I spell unfiltered wrong? I've done that before. That's how you do it, right? I know, like it's not. I went there too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gave the wrong one. Let me see if this one works. There we go. I think that worked. Wait, I don't know. Just sent me to my page, like this page. Tell me if that one works. I can't ever like click my own link unless I go to my iPad. Here we go. If I go over here, I can. Okay, that one worked, I think. It doesn't come to me though. It comes to like YouTube. Is it working? Okay. Let me know. Because that one should have been it. But it just sent me to like my For You page. Like it didn't click in the unfiltered part. Actually, I have it. Maybe a banner. Now I'm like determined. No, I don't have the link in here, do I? Why don't I just go over there? How about I just do that? Don't tell me what to do, YouTube. Figure it out. Just switch the account. Go over here. View your channel. There we go. I don't know. This was probably like the longest way possible to do this. I'm sure there's such like an easier way, faster way, but that's the, now I know that's the one. I went over to the page and just copied and pasted it. Man, that was crazy, wasn't it? We're so close to our next number too. I'm excited. We're almost to 19.6. We're getting so close to 20,000 subscribers, y'all. You guys are going to make my year. And you know what? It's 20 years on YouTube. Like it's the YouTube is 20 years. So yeah, I showed the YouTube one. And I'm like, that didn't even make sense. It came up like that. Did it? Yay. Had to go to my own page. Oh my gosh. I know there's probably an easier way to do that. I should have all that stuff like in my notes, you know, like all of my I do have it in my freaking notes, y'all. No, I don't. I lied. That's to become a member. I need to put that in my notes. I still have to switch some stuff around though. But thank you guys for being here. I'll be back on tomorrow. Or actually tomorrow during the day at 1:15, 2:15. So like I said, I'll post something on this community tab and that community tab, let y'all know. But it'll be a good time. Come on over and hang out. I hope he does. I'm going to try to get him to at least do a pre-recorded video with me. Maybe we could do like opening like Japanese snacks and eating them because he loves Japanese food, of course. I mean, obviously. And I don't really like Japanese snacks. Like I'm a weird person. I don't know. It's just funny. And so I think it would be hilarious for us to do a video on that because he would love it. And then I would be over there probably torturing myself. So, because they smell funny. His snacks smell funny. I don't know. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful Sunday. Bye, guys.
lights lit this town like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out.